Roof Life was started because I needed to make enough money to go back to college, looking for an opportunity to serve people and make money at serving people. I was working at a mill. I could get the work done that they gave me in about half the time that they said I should do it in. And they said, well, you need to make that last the whole day. And I said, wow, there's just not enough to do all day. So I found myself, after I got my fourth floor clean, because I was called a sweeper, it was at a grain mill, that I would just sit down on the fourth floor because there's nothing to do. And one day I said, well, I can't do this. I have to go down and help somebody. So I rode the elevator down to the sacking floor, which is the bottom floor. And I just started throwing grain sacks, and they looked at me like, what are you doing? Pretty soon I got in trouble from the supervisor, and I got sent back up to the fourth floor. He says, man, you can't ever do that. I go, what? He goes, you can't leave your post because you're done. You have to stay up here. They dumped tons of grain on my floor, and I spent hours shoveling it back down a little hole. And I said, okay, this job, I got to replace this job. My friend called me like within a couple days and said, you're never going to believe it, but I have figured out that a clean, beautiful roof on a home makes it look way better, and we can do things to make the roof healthier. I said, well, I'm going to come by and look at it before I go to work. And I went by and I looked at it, I thought, wow, it goes from black, gunky, yucky, greenish guck to this beautiful golden brown. And what I thought I was making really good money as a union worker at about $86 a day back in 1982, he was making $400 a day cleaning roofs. Trained with him for a couple days. Then I got my first roof. And I remember cleaning that roof, and it took me 12 hours nonstop of work from dawn till dusk. And when I got done, I was so beat up. My arms, my shoulders, every muscle in my body was tired, and I went home and collapsed on the floor. And I called Tim. I said, I will never do that again. That was the hardest thing I've ever done. And he just laughed. He goes, trust me, it'll get better. And he showed me and told me a couple things that I could do better and do that same type and size of roof in half the time. I thought, oh man, okay, this is going to work. So I was telling my mom this story, and my mom reminded me of when I was 10 years old. I was the middle of 5 kids, and my dad had left our family and didn't send us any income. So we went from an electrical engineer's lifestyle, which was really nice, I thought. I never even considered work or money or anything like that. You know, I was only 10, as much as a 10-year-old would. But my mom took us out to the migrant field, because that's all who was picking strawberries at the time. And they were the harvesters, and they'd start in California and move right up the West Coast and end up in the fall in Washington picking apples. In June, they were all in Oregon picking strawberries. Huge fields. People cannot imagine the hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of acres. Mom just hauled the 3 of us kids. My sister was 11, I was 10, and Perry was 13, and took us out to this field by our grade school. They were the Tankersleys. And they said, my mom said, my kids would like to pick berries. And I remember Mrs. Tankersley in her big, broad hat and her kind of really fancy clothes for being a strawberry checker. And I just remember thinking, all right, Mom wants us to pick berries, and we get $1 a flat. And the lady said, no, your kids can't work here because the migrants pick and they move through the fields, and we're not going to be hanging back for you kids. We had never picked a strawberry in our life. And so Mom goes over there to the strawberry plants and says, look, kids, this is what you do. You straddle the row, you bend over, you pick up the bush, lift it over, pick the berries off that side, lay it back down, lift the other side up, pick them off that side, and then go down the middle, throw every berry in your cart and push it forward. And then repeat every 2 feet. And then when the flat gets full, you leave it in the aisle, and then you just grab another one and grab another one. Then after you're done with the row, you go back, pick up all your flats, take them in, and they punch your card, and every punch is worth $1. All 3 of us kids did that for 2 years. We never got as fast as the migrant workers, but we got to the point where we could each have our own row and keep up with them. That was my introduction to a job. I think what I did on that first roof that I did for the Platts is the only thing that got me through that is I was channeling when I was 10 years old and I had to work because I had to buy my own clothes. There wasn't a choice. It was the work ethic of staying with it and learning from the masters and then working at it, making it even better. And we still do that today at Roof Life. We do the best job in roof care and in roofing of anybody in Portland because we are unrelented in finding ways to deliver a better product for at least cost possible. And I think that's where it all came from. Is I took that as I was a 21-year-old into roofing and roof maintenance. And that's how I think we've got that instilled in our company. And now there's 42 of us and I've trained them all. So that's how it works.